Welcome back to the deep dive. We're trying something a little different today. Usually we spend our time looking at the end result of innovation, the shiny gadget, the billion-dollar IPO, the overnight success story.
Right.
But today we're looking at the messy, often frustrating, completely unglamorous middle part, the engine room.
Right. Because there is this persistent myth we have to deal with, the myth of the lightning bolt.
The Isaac Newton moment.
Yeah.
You sit under a tree, an apple hits you on the head, and suddenly, bam, you understand gravity.
Or you wake up in the middle of the night with the entire code for the next Facebook just, written in your head.
Exactly. It's romantic. It looks great in a movie montage, but as a strategy for actually getting things done.
It's terrible. It's passive. It relies on luck.
Yeah.
Today is about moving from waiting for the muse to building a system that forces the muse to show up whether she wants to or not.
And to do that, we are cracking open the second edition of Evaluating Your Creativity by Steve Diasio. This isn't just a pep talk, it's an operating manual.
It really is.
It breaks creativity down into an engineering problem.
And Diasio uses a framework he calls the 4 pillars. It's a really solid way to organize the chaos of innovation.
Okay, let's sketch those out quickly so everyone knows the landscape we are walking through.
Sure. So pillar 1 is the creative person. That's you, your trades, your skills.
Right.
Pillar 2 is the creative environment. Is your office a place where ideas live or where they go to die? But the source text really wants us to focus on the transition between the last two.
Pillars 3 and 4.
Right. Pillar 3 is the creative process. That is the engine. And pillar 4 is creative products and services. That is the destination.
So the mission for this deep dive is to figure out how to connect those two.
Exactly. How do you take a raw, abstract process and grind it down until it becomes a real-world solution that someone will actually pay for?
Okay, let's start with the engine then. Pillar 3, the creative process. Diasio defines this as the fuel of innovation, but I have to play devil's advocate here.
Go for it.
For a lot of people, process sounds like the opposite of creativity. Process sounds like bureaucracy.
It does, doesn't it?
It sounds like filling out forms.
We think of creativity as wild and free and process as rigid and boring. But the text makes a crucial distinction here, especially for entrepreneurs. Without process, creativity is just daydreaming.
It says here that for the entrepreneur, the process is what creates a sustainable competitive advantage.
That's the key phrase. If your business relies on you having a lucky idea in the shower once a year, you don't have a business. You have a lottery ticket.
Oh.
The process is about repeatability. It's about reliability. And the core mechanic of this process, the pistons in the engine, if you will, is the rhythm between two specific types of thinking.
Divergent and convergent.
Have you ever been in a brainstorming meeting that felt like it was just going nowhere?
Oh, painfully often.
Just a complete waste of an hour.
Yeah, people are shouting random ideas. Other people are shooting them down immediately saying that won't work. Someone is checking their email. It's a mess.
That's usually because you are mixing these two modes. You're trying to hit the gas and the brake at the same time.
Okay, let's break them down. So divergent thinking is the gas.
Divergent thinking is about creating choices. It's opening the funnel. The guidelines in the text are very specific here. First, defer judgment. That is the hardest one for adults.
Because we are trained to be critics, right?
Yeah.
We want to look smart by spotting the flaw in something.
Exactly. We hear an idea and immediately think that's too expensive or that violates the laws of physics. In divergent mode, you have to turn that voice off.
So you just go for quantity.
You go for quantity. You strive for wild and crazy ideas. You are trying to break the pattern.
But if you stay there, you just end up with a room full of sticky notes and no product.
You just have a mess.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's where you switch gears. Convergent thinking. This is about making choices.
Okay.
The rules flip. Now, you use affirmative judgment. You are deliberative. You check your objectives. You aren't just picking ideas, you are improving them.
The text visualizes this with the double diamond model. It's a classic design thinking concept, but Diasio really leans into it.
It's a classic for a reason. Picture two diamond shapes sitting side by side, touching point to point.
So it starts narrow, gets wide, narrows again, gets wide again, and then narrows to a finish.
Ideally, yes. The first diamond is the problem diamond. Most people skip this. They see a problem like sales are down and immediately try to solve it. The double diamond says, stop. First, diverge. Research the problem.
You're not just solving, you're looking.
You're looking at the history, the context, the weird contributing factors.
You're widening your understanding before you narrow down to the root cause.
Precisely. You don't want to solve the symptom, you want to cure the disease. That's the convergent side of the first diamond, defining the actual problem.
And then you enter the second diamond, the solution diamond.
And you do it all over again. You diverge, brainstorm every possible way to solve that specific root cause. Then you converge, test, evaluate, and select the single best solution.
Expand, contract, expand, contract. It creates a rhythm.
It's like breathing. If you only inhale, only diverge, you explode. If you only exhale, only converge, you suffocate. You need both to keep the idea alive.
The text mentions something else here called incubation. Now, be honest with me. Is incubation just a fancy word for procrastination?
It sounds like it, doesn't it?
Because it says it involves stepping away from the problem.
I'm not ignoring my work, boss. I'm incubating. But Diazio is pretty specific. Incubation isn't just zoning out. It's tangibly recreating our creative problem-solving processes.
What does that mean in plain English?
It means giving your subconscious permission to work on the pattern. When you're hyper-focused on a problem, you get tunnel vision.
You're staring at the tree and forgetting the forest.
Exactly. Incubation is stepping back so your brain can make connections that aren't obvious.
It's the shower effect. You struggle with a problem all day at your desk, you give up, you go take a shower, and suddenly the answer is right there.
It is exactly the shower effect. But the text argues you can't just wait for the shower to happen. You have to structure the downtime. You have to feed the brain the data first, then give it the space.
Speaking of showers, let's get practical. The source material has these exercises to train your brain to do this expanding and contracting. And exercise 1 is literally called the shower exercise.
This is a great way to test if you can actually separate divergent and convergent thinking.
So the prompt is, what might be all the ways to improve a shower?
Sounds simple, but here's the constraint that makes it work. You set a timer for exactly 5 minutes.
Okay.
And you have to write down at least 15 ideas.
15 ideas in 5 minutes. That's one every 20 seconds. That feels stressful just thinking about it.
It's rapid fire. And that speed is intentional. It forces you to bypass your internal censor. The first 5 ideas are going to be obvious. Make it hotter, make it bigger, add a bench.
Add a waterproof speaker? Yeah, the easy stuff.
Right, the standard stuff. But then you run out of obvious ideas.
Yeah.
And the clock is still ticking. You have 2 minutes left and you need 10 more ideas.
Oh, wow.
That is where the brain starts to get weird. That is where you get, what if the water was recycled instantly? Or what if the shower dried you off like a car wash?
You have to get silly to hit the quota.
You do. And that's the divergent phase. Then, and only then, do you switch to convergent. You review the list, you pick the top 5, and you write a paragraph justifying why.
So it forces you to practice the switch. You open the floodgates, then you put on the judge's robe.
It trains the muscle. Most of us have atrophied creative muscles. We need the reps, but there's another exercise in the text exercise 3 that I think is even more valuable as someone who actually wants to start a business.
Okay.
It's the annoyances list.
This one is my favorite because I am naturally very good at complaining.
Well, this is weaponized complaining. The text asks you to write a list of 30 things that annoy you throughout the day.
30 things, that feels like a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
And that's the point. We are incredibly adaptive creatures. When something is annoying, like a wobbly table or a slow website or a coffee lid that leaks, we just deal with it.
We'll just work around it.
We ignore it. This exercise forces you to stop ignoring the friction.
So I'm walking around with a notebook. The coffee was too hot and burned my tongue. My shoelace came untied. The wifey dropped during a call.
Exactly. You are building a database of problems. The text argues that entrepreneurs are, at their core, problem solvers. If you aren't aware of the problems, you can't build the solutions.
Okay, so I have my list of 30 miseries. Do I just stare at it and feel that?
No, you select the top 5, the ones that have real potential. And then, this is the magic trick, you use exercise 4. You change the language.
The pivot.
You take traffic is annoying, and you rewrite it, starting with the phrase, how might we
improve the morning commute?
Feel the difference. Traffic is annoying is a dead end. It's a statement of fact.
Right. It's a complaint.
How might we improve the commute is an open door. It invites a solution.
It effectively pushes you into that second diamond we talked about.
Yeah.
You've defined the problem, and now you're asking how might we to start brainstorming solutions.
Precisely. It turns a complaint into a design challenge. And what I find really fascinating about Diazio's approach is that he doesn't just apply this to widgets and apps.
Right.
He suggests applying this entire double diamond engine to your own life.
This is segment 3 in our outline, applying the process to personal goals. The text calls it the WISMD chart.
WISMD. what I see myself doing.
It sounds a bit like a vision board, which can sometimes be a bit fluffy.
It shares some DNA with a vision board, but it adds the engineering rigor we've been talking about. It uses the same divergent convergent rhythm.
Oh.
The divergent phase is the goals
So
list.
this is the dreaming phase.
No restrictions.
Yeah.
You look at your career, your education, your health, your hobbies. You ask, what do I want? And you write it down. I want to be an astronaut. I want to learn French. I want to run a marathon.
And just like the shower exercise, you don't judge it yet. You don't say, well, I'm 40, so astronaut is probably off the table.
Not yet. You get it all out. Then you move to the convergent phase. The text calls this the action plan. This is the how.
This is where reality enters the chat.
Right. For the marathon, the how isn't just run fast. It's buy shoes, download training app, run 3 miles on Tuesday, change diet. You are breaking the big dream down into small, boring steps.
And the text suggests exercise 6, which is sorting these into a timeline. Short-term, mid-term, and long-term.
This is crucial.
Yeah.
A goal without a timeline is just a wish.
Right.
By sorting them, you are prioritizing. You are saying, I can't become an astronaut this week, but I can sign up for a French class. It takes the anxiety of, I have to do everything now, and spreads it out into a roadmap.
It's treating your life like a product launch.
Which brings us back to the core mission of the book. Whether it's a better shower head, a traffic app, or your own career path, the process is the same. You take a cloud of possibilities and distill it down to a drop of action.
Which leads us perfectly to the destination. We've done the brainstorming, we've listed our annoyances, we've planned our lives. Now we arrive at pillar 4, creative products and services.
This is the output. The text defines creative products as the real-world manifestation of creative thinking.
Real-world manifestation. That sounds heavy.
It is meant to be, because up until this point, pillar 1, 2, and 3, it's all been potential. It's been in your head or on a whiteboard.
Okay.
Pillar 4 is where it hits the market. It's where the rubber meets the road.
The text lists some specific characteristics of what makes a product creative in this context. It's not just about being new.
Right. There's a lot of new junk out there. The text says a truly creative product must stand out in an oversaturated market.
That's harder than ever. I mean, there is noise everywhere.
Exactly. A creative product signals something different. It cuts through the noise. The text also mentions they actualize new ideas, and I love this part, they enable innovators to make the world a better place.
So there is a social good aspect here. It's not just about extracting money.
Ideally, no. But let's connect this to the business value, because D'Asio is writing for entrepreneurs. He's very clear on why this matters for the bottom line.
And what's that?
It's about creating passionate fans.
We all want passionate fans, but what does that actually look like?
It looks like people who wait in line for a new release. These people don't just use the product, they defend it, they identify with it. And because of that, they're willing to pay a premium price.
Ah, the premium price. That's the sustainable competitive advantage we talked about at the start.
It is. You can't charge a premium for a commodity. You can only charge a premium for something that feels unique and solves a problem better than anything else. But here is the critical link we need to make.
What's that?
You have to view pillar 4, the product, not just as the end, but as a signal. It's evidence of learning.
Explain that.
A lot of people freeze up at pillar 4. They are afraid to ship the product because they are afraid it will be judged. But if you trust the process, if you use the double diamond, the product is just the best hypothesis you have right now.
So shipping the product isn't the final exam.
No, it's just the next step in the cycle. It proves you did the work. You can't get the passionate fans at pillar 4 if you haven't done the annoyance mining in pillar 3.
Right.
But once you launch, the market reacts, and that gives you new data.
Which feeds right back into pillar 1 and 2.
Bingo. You cannot start at pillar 4. You see this all the time with failed startups. They say, I want to build a product that creates a community and costs $500. They are starting with the result.
They want the applause before they write the song.
Exactly. You have to go through the engine. You have to suffer through the double diamond. You have to list the things that make you miserable to find the things that will make other people happy. The passionate fans are the reward for the discipline of the process.
It really demystifies the whole thing. We started by saying creativity isn't a lightning bolt. And looking at the source material, it looks a lot more like a factory. A really fun, messy, interesting factory.
A factory where you are constantly switching hats. The dreamer and the critic. The explorer and the map maker. If you can master that switch, if you can learn to toggle between those two modes, you can build almost anything.
So let's recap the journey we took today. We looked at the creative process pillar 3 as a fuel. We talked about the double diamond model, the rhythm of diverging to create choices and converging to make choices.
We looked at practical ways to trigger that rhythm, like the 15 ideas in 5-minute shower exercise, and the how might we pivot on our annoyances.
Right.
And we applied it to our personal lives with the what I see myself doing chart.
And finally, we saw that all of this rigor aims at pillar 4, the creative product, something that solves a real problem, stands out in the market, and earns those passionate fans.
Yeah, and keeps the cycle going. Because once you launch a product, you'll find new annoyances and the process starts all over again.
Before we wrap up, I want to leave the listener with a thought. We talked about the annoyances exercise. The text suggests writing down 30 things that annoy you today.
It sounds like a punishment.
It does, but think about the inverse. If you actually did that, sat down today and listed 30 complaints about your daily life, how many potential businesses are hiding in your own handwriting?
That's the real question.
How many million-dollar ideas are you currently just complaining about? Something to mull over the next time you're stuck in traffic. Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive.
Goodbye.
We'll see you next time.